session of the Mayor and Council of the City of Bisbee, County of Cochise, and State of Arizona, to be held on Tuesday, July 21st, 2020 at 7 p.m. virtually instead of at City Hall. And Ms. Coronado, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Louis Pollock.
Here.
Councilmember Joni Giacomino is excused. Councilmember Bill Higgins.
Here.
Mayor David M. Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Leslie Johns.
Here.
Councilmember Joan Hanson.
Here.
Councilmember Anna Klein.
Here.
City staff, Teresa Coleman, City Manager, Ashley Coronado, City Clerk, Jesus Haro, Public Works Director, James Ledbetter, City Attorney.
Thank you, ma'am. For our invocation, I'd like us to just take a moment of silence and think about those that aren't as fortunate as we are in these troubled times. So if you just take a moment with me, thank you, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. We will not do a Pledge of Allegiance tonight since we do not have a flag. And the only announcements I have are two. Number one, for everybody that's out there listening or watching, to please fill out your census. Very, very important. And the second is, please remember to vote. Early voting is going for another 2 weeks as of tonight. And then, of course, the polls will be available on the 4th of August. And with that, we'll go to call to the public. And I believe Teresa will be reading that one call to the public. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Good evening. I just don't understand why the city administration doesn't fully disclose plans in advance. Not doing so causes much needless controversy, anxiety, and sometimes anger. A 4-day period from agenda posting background to council meeting doesn't constitute advance notice. Residents and businesses suffer from a lack of communication from the city administration. Sometimes we don't know what is going on until a decision has been implemented or an item added to the agenda with very short notice. A weekly or bi-weekly newsletter or some other communique would be very helpful, not just a sit down with the CM. So decisions that are made and sprung on us residents, whether by fiat or council agenda, think change in the animal shelter contract, garbage pickup changes, recycling fees, or the adjustments to the ambulance fees, won't be a surprise. When we are informed, the resultant dialogue can be productive and supportive. When we are uninformed, rumors and cynicism rule, which leads to less support for city government administration employees at all levels. That is not good. Speaking of communication, it was announced that the governor released about $600,000 to Bisbee for COVID-related expenses. We have heard nothing about how this money is being dispersed in Bisbee. Did it go into the general fund? Did it go to pay for emergency protective gear? Is it being used to supplement an emergency fund? I would hope that there would be a public explanation of what is happening with those funds. And one more thing, it is likely that reduced tax revenue will continue till at least the end of the year. I would appreciate public discussion from the administration about what is going to be done if revenues continue to drop. What services might be cut, how many employees will have reduced hours, whether layoffs will be necessary. In other words, alternative scenarios. Thank you, Fred Miller, 39 Hazard.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving to accounts payable.
I move that we pay accounts payable in the amount of $370,743.89.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? If you have a question, kind of raise your hand so I can. Okay, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
One item on the on page 5. Item 10.4 or 10.77.42060 sub part 1014 Mohawk Resources hydraulic floor jack for $2,686.78. Maybe I should direct this to Mr. Harrow. That's quite a bill for a floor jack. And
yes, Mr. Pollock, that is actually a hydraulic floor jack. It's a replacement for one that we've had. It was no longer working. We definitely had 3 proposals. Well, we searched out for 3 prices. So we did purchase the least expensive one that meets our needs. It was within our budget, so I did approve that purchase.
can you tell me what the tonnage is for that jack?
I can't tell you offhand, but I know that both Mr. Bourbon and Mr. Sporhas were involved in that, and it does have the ability to pick up our buses. So it's very robust.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So also it would be used on fire apparatus, et cetera, the heavy equipment.
Absolutely, it has the ability to be used for our commercial vehicles and our light vehicles.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank
No
you,
other-
Thank you, Mr. Harrow.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I've got
Ms. Klein?
on page 3. I noticed this on the last accounts payable too, but I didn't ask about it then. On the gasoline, there's fuel for the police department and it says Wex Bank. Do they not fill up their units down at the garage?
No, we have moved to a fuel card, and so Wex Bank is our fuel card. We do have our fuel tanks there, absolutely full. However, we did move to a fuel card so that we can better manage who is filling what vehicle. So each person that is assigned each person that is assigned a PIN, they can fuel any vehicle. So we know if a certain person fuels different vehicles, we know which people are fueling a specific vehicle, and we're able to be more specific on our reports and know what's going on. We are moving away from having our fueling station there at the garage. It has become, while I've been here, an issue when we go traveling out of town. We've had issues with having people being able to fuel vehicles, and so these fuel cards we can fuel at any fueling station, and we will have a report of who fueled which vehicle, which.
Is that for all employees or just the police department?
That's for all employees that are authorized to use a fuel card. As far as my department, I have authorized everybody. I've given everybody a PIN. I know who fuels which vehicle. I believe both Chief Achave and Chief Castillo have done similar things. I can't speak for if given everybody authorization, but we do have that ability to view that live.
Okay, thank you. And then I've got one more on page 6. And that's for the Rex programs and special events. It says storage container unit. Did we get another one or is,
No, I'm not quite sure why this is appearing again. This is the same one. We did not purchase the second one. This is the same one. I don't know if it was it was in between purchases. That would be something we might want to ask how that appeared again, but we didn't purchase the second.
okay, well, hopefully we didn't pay for it twice then.
I hope so too.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Coleman, can we check that one item out and make sure that it's not paid twice or provide an explanation as to why it's on there twice?
I'll put that on Carrie's desk. The checks have not gone out yet, so we have plenty of time tomorrow to make sure that we've caught it.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of paying accounts payable signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Consent agenda, there's one item, item A, approval of the minutes of the regular session of Mayor and Council held on July 7th, 2020 at 7 p.m. Do we have a motion? Do we have any discussion first?
I do have one thing, not so much for discussion, but just a correction on the spelling.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, on the, just on the very last, when it says that Chief Ernest, that is misspelled. So if we could just get his last name spelled correctly for the minutes.
You'd think I'd know how to spell that.
I wondered.
Okay, it's
But, you
noted.
know, it's Chief, we got to do it right.
I hear you.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I move that we
I move to-
approve the consent agenda item A.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. I believe Joan seconded it.
Actually, Lou did.
Pollock, Mr. Pollock.
I say, okay. All right, Ms. Coronado?
Mayor Pro Tem Pollock,
Aye.
Councilmember Higgins,
Aye.
Councilmember Johns,
Aye.
Councilmember Hanson,
Aye.
Councilmember Klein,
Aye.
Mayor Smith.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 3, discussion and possible approval of an amended court consolidation agreement between the city of Bisbee and Cochise County. This is something that we've looked at before. There's been a slight change. So Ms. Coleman, would you like to explain that?
Yes, so the one that was approved at your last meeting was actually executed and submitted to the county, where they recognized that it was missing paragraph 1 purpose. So they've sent it back to us, and we were not comfortable treating that as a clerical correction. So we brought it back to the council for approval.
Thank you. Are there any questions about that? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
I move to approve the amended court consolidation agreement between the city of Bisbee and Cochise County.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and we have a second. Ms. Coronado?
Mayor Pro Tem Pollock,
Aye.
Councilmember Higgins,
Aye.
Councilmember Johns,
Aye.
Councilmember Hanson,
Aye.
Councilmember Klein,
Aye.
Mayor Smith.
Aye, motion passes unanimously. Item number 4, discussion of possible approval to waive fire inspection fees for inspections scheduled between August 1 and October 31, 2020. Ms. Coleman?
Thank you. So we did receive Arizona Care funds, almost $600,000. And those were designated for specific wage categories for fire and police wages. You will see that in your financial reports, actually for the previous financial or fiscal year, though there is a carryover that we could apply in this fiscal year. And because it does cover those specific wages, including the fire marshal, I'm asking that as assistance to commercial businesses and to incentivize our fire inspection program, that we waive fire inspection fees for inspections that are scheduled between August 1st and October 31st. The feeling is that it's more important that we do the inspections than we collect the fees at this point in time.
Excellent. Questions?
I have a question.
Ms. Hanson.
Is there a time limit or a time frame in which we have to spend this money?
It actually covers about 3 months worth of wages, which is why I have specified 3 months of the fire marshal's wages. You're certainly not limited to that. That's just the thinking behind what's proposed.
So that if, you know, we come October, the end of October, and things are still not going well, we can't extend that.
Oh,
It won't
certainly.
necessarily come out of this fund, but
Right.
Okay.
You could certainly do that.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And there goes my cat.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Do we have a motion?
I moved to
move-
waive.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Lou.
Raise a hand. Raise a hand. So we can. All right, Ms.
Go
Hanson.
ahead, Lou.
Ms. Hanson,
Oh,
you're recognized.
I moved to waive fire inspection fees for inspections scheduled between August 1st and October 31st, 2020.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second,
Thank you. All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 5, discussion of possible approval of the notice of intent to adopt ordinance O20-12, authorizing the acceptance of a transfer of real property from William D. Lyon to the city of Bisbee, located on Chihuahua Hill above OK Street, Bisbee. Ms. Coleman.
Thank you. So as you may have noticed, we are getting serious about notices of violation. And after working with Mr. Lyon on some trespassing concerns that he had, we provided him with the notice of violation given the accumulation of items on his property overlooking the city. Not only is it troublesome and a fire hazard, but it was also being noticed by city residents of that neighborhood. So when we reached out to Mr. Lyons with the notice of violation, we did offer him the opportunity to put that property into our community development activities. So he responded with affirmative that he would like to donate that property to the city. He does have past due taxes on that property. We will work with him to minimize the city's investment in bringing those properties free and clear.
Any questions?
I've got one.
Yes, please.
What is the address? I see the parcel numbers, but what is the physical address?
There is no physical structure at that location. And I don't believe there has been for many years.
Okay, well, we no longer have a structure on ours, but we do have an address as well.
Yeah, I just have the parcel numbers and they are on the back of that sheet.
Okay, can we find out what the address is?
We could ask Joe to assign an address, but actually there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parcels.
Mhm.
Yeah, So I can ask Joe to assign addresses to those parcels. I don't believe it's necessary for us to have street addresses though in order to accept the transfer of the real property.
Okay, well, I was just curious as to, you know, where it was and what the address was.
Yeah.
And I'm sure maybe some of the neighbors might want to know as well.
The neighbors know.
Yeah.
The neighbors know.
Yeah, this all started as a number of complaints from the neighbors.
Okay, is this at the beginning of OK Street or is it middle or towards the end?
It's up above Mr. Budge's property. So that would be the beginning.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
I
Ms.
move that we approve the notice of intent to adopt ordinance 0-20-12, accepting the transfer of real property for William D. Lyon located on Chihuahua Hill above OK Street. Bisbee.
Thank you, ma'am. Do we have a second? I'll second. Thank you. Ms. Coronado?
Mayor Pro Tem Pollock,
Aye.
Councilmember Higgins,
Aye.
Councilmember Johns,
Aye.
Councilmember Hanson,
Aye.
Councilmember Klein,
Aye.
Mayor Smith.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 6, City Manager's Report. Ms. Coleman?
Thank you. The first thing I have for you are some historical figures regarding the city magistrate's office. 2006 appears to be the last year that the city maintained the city magistrate's office. The wages that year were a little more than $80,000 and the income a little more than $41,000 for a cost of $38,704 to maintain that office. It appears to have included a magistrate and 2 clerks at that time. The following year in 2007, the city had 2 contracts related to the magistrate for a total of $19,669. Moving forward to 2013, professional fees were $12,000. That appears to be what was paid to the Justice of the Peace directly. And the contract with the county was $34,747 for a total of $46,747. In 2020, with the agreement that you just authorized, the cost for the magistrate court will be $24,760. So the 2020 cost of our magistrate cost services is significantly less than the $38,704 in 2006 dollars. And if you would like some more specifics, just reach out to me and let me know. I can send you the backup documents that I'm referring to. Ambulance subscription, facts and figures. Ashley did send you over a cover sheet that pretty much summarized where we are currently. As you can see, we contracted with Fry Fire prior to July 2017. We still have outstanding bills from that time of $453,602. Ambaserv provided service to us from July 2017 to January 2020. The total still due is $44,746. AMB began providing service for us in January of this year. To date, the total due is $237,928. That represents 230 patients who are billed. Of those, 63 are on self-pay of amounts up to $1,447, so that their insurance or their lack of insurance did not cover their complete cost of service. At least half of those do owe more than $900 on their bill. So essentially about 27% of the patients have had to pay something out of pocket in this calendar year. So we'll come back to you with proposals for programs that these folks could take advantage of that would take them out of this category of owing the city money after they have an ambulance call. And that'll be your next meeting.
Anything else?
Yes, lifetime pet licenses. We're going to a lifetime license for pets. For dogs beginning August 1st, those tags are available at the police department. They're $25. It's lifetime. You pay once. And you don't have to come back. You can even update your rabies information online. So I think it's going to be a program that everyone appreciates. It also is a tag with QR code on the back. So actually, if I were to find a dog, I could just click on that, take a picture of the QR code, and the information would come up and allow me to directly dial the owner of that pet and let them know that I had found their animal. We do require a license for dogs, but it's a pet license. So anyone who wanted to obtain that license for another animal could do so. And then for folks who currently have a license or who have previously had a license, we'll roll out a trade-in program on September 1st. Anyone with an existing tag will get $10 off the $25 cost starting September 1st at the police department.
Thank
That's
you.
it. Yep.
Thank you. All right, we have no council comments. So, Mr. Higgins,
I move that we adjourn.
Second?
we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor of adjournment signify by stating aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We stand adjourned, and thank you all very much for this experiment, and hopefully the public appreciates the fact that we're meeting this way and allowing them to have a greater input and greater transparency. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.